Mina, Man United 2, Leeds United 0, big win. Performance maybe not the whole way through, but don't matter, mate, 3 points.
It's 3 points that all that matters, to be honest. What are we now, second?
Yeah.
Second at the moment. At the time of recording, we are second. But still, it's the fight for top 3. I don't even think top 4 is really the discussion.
Leave it now. Spurs are just...
I think it's more the top 3. But, you know, Ten Hag took a risk second half. He came out, took a risk, and it really paid off, obviously. I know a lot of people have been critical of Weghorst, and rightly so. He's a striker and he should be scoring goals. But that's not what we brought him for. And we saw in the second half, I think is when they took off Sancho and Garnacho came on. Firstly, big up Garnacho in it for someone that got a bit of stick after what I thought was a decent performance against Leeds in the last fixture. Obviously, he missed about 2 big chances. But today, just the stride that he took his goal in made a big important. It was a big important goal for us. I think it kind of cemented that win for us.
Sealed it, innit?
Yeah, 1-0 would have been good, but 2-0 is even better, obviously, for goal difference purposes.
Yeah.
But that Weghorst, that assist, I think, is the most. I think people should just go back and watch that. Just once he got slotted into what it looked like Ten Hag did is that he had us in a 4-4-2 in transitional attack, but then in the build-up, he had us in that 4-2-3-1. But because the Leeds midfielders were just pressing so much and their forwards were pressing so much, putting Weghorst as that second striker and where he accommodates that space behind the striker and putting Bruno out wide allows him and Fred to basically tactically tag team people, to press them and win possession. And you saw that with the second goal. But also with the first goal, you saw the space that Weghorst was occupying as that second striker. I don't think he was a 10.
Really deep, yeah, just kind of coming off the front.
And that's occupying, you know, keeping the Leeds midfielders occupied, which allowed Sabitzer to actually play a pass through that does not get dispossessed, because that's what we're struggling with quite often is, and I was saying it during the stream, we don't have that midfielder that just can play that one pass that takes 3 people out of the game. And Sabitzer did that simply because he had that little opening of space, because Weghorst was occupying that little centre forward second striker position. So I think that Ten Hag took the risk and it paid off.
Was you surprised? Was you like, whoa, I didn't expect to see that?
I didn't expect to see it, because I knew we'd see Rashford up top at some point. I knew we'd see Garnacho come on, but I just thought we'd see Garnacho come on for Weghorst and switch it around. But obviously Sancho came off instead. And I do think when Bruno went to the right, he was supporting Dalot a lot more defensively. Obviously, sometimes going forward, he can be a bit wasteful with the ball. But defensively, what we've missed is having someone that supports the fullbacks in transition when we're defending. And Bruno was doing exactly that.
A lot of people are talking about Fredemption. Yeah, and you backed him to do it as well.
I back Fred because I back him because it's frustrating, because it's like one game he's great, next game he's a bit, you know, annoying.
Yeah.
It's like that.
You just can't keep it consistent, can you?
Keep it consistent, and that's the level that you need at Manchester United, is consistent performances, consistent showcasing of your abilities. But when Fred is playing like this, he makes a big difference to this team. And one thing that does frustrate me sometimes with Fred is that, you know, he does the right things where he's pickpocketing people and he's pressing and he's tenacious and he's aggressive, but then he just doesn't have that good ball, that good pass to, you know, your winger or to your striker, and it's something that Sabitzer was showcasing today. So maybe together they work. And we might see it now with I think Casemiro got one game suspension left. So we might see it. But Fred, in a game where Leeds today, for example, they were pressing the hell out of us. Their front 4 were pressing our back 4. So Sabitzer and Fred had no space to receive the ball. And I think when Martinez came on and was able to play those, you know, balls that he can play, that kind of did make a difference. But for me, Rashford top. Like, Rashford's a funny guy, man. He can be frustrating, and then he just bam.
That's like the most even when you look at Rashford from before, like those little, you know, running down blind alleys, or just needs to think about it a little bit more. But it's like, even if he's going through a little spell of that during the game, because we were saying he wasn't really been in it. But what is the inevitable thing this year is that he's gonna score or he's gonna assist. He's just like he's saying, the mentality to just always stay mentally checked in to the last kick of the game. He's managing to do that.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest change in his footballing abilities, is the fact that he can stay turned on for 90 minutes. And that celebration just makes sense, because he's saying, I'm focused even if I'm playing crap. I'm still focused. And even that goal in particular, I think I was reading earlier that he scored 4 headers this season. he's had 5 headers in the last 7 seasons. So for him to score 4 headers just this season, his last header before this season was, I think, the 1920 season, a game against Newcastle. And then now he's come out, scored 4 headers.
That one at the back post, innit? Yeah, I remember
and
that.
now he's been working on like finishing left foot, right foot, and even headers. And even one thing I like about Rashford is when he's in that 9 position, he did say at the beginning of the season where he can't play up top, but he's working on it. And you can see that he's been working on it because he's just in the right positions. I think only Mitrovic, Kane and Haaland have more headers than him in the Premier League this season. And to be in that kind of bracket in terms of that's number 9s. That's pure.
That's what we wanted him from him, because before with Rashi, it was like finishes that are cutting in, nice strike, or running in behind, round the keeper, or, you know, slot it. You know, running from outside to in. Running in behind is what you associate with Rashi. Yeah. But we've asked from him or challenged him to say, well, you know what? Can he get more strikers' goals, either the tap-ins or the close range shots and headers? And he's like, is he becoming the complete player? Complete forward, or the complete Rashford? Is he starting to show signs?
I think he's becoming his best version of himself, and I'm saying this because I genuinely feel like we're working with Ten Hag, and shout out to Benny McCarthy, who's been doing a great job with all our forwards, not just Rashford but all of them. But I think working with actual strikers, striker coaches and proper managers, I don't think he's been proper coached since probably the academy. So he's been a raw product for the past 7-8 years that we've had
around as well.
And he's been playing all over the place, you know, inconsistent in the England national team. But now you see what you're getting with him. You're getting a guy that's 25-ish. I think he's 25.
Coming to his prime.
He's coming to his prime, being coached well, being, you know, he's got good discipline, improving his discipline. He was dropped for being late.
Yeah.
He was dropped for being late, and that's when he was picking up form. So you're finally getting a player that's being coached properly and has all that raw abilities. It kind of reminds me, I know this is a bit wild, but is about Amad Diallo. When we brought him, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said this is a kid with all the raw talents that can be a great player, and he could be a great player. But at Manchester United, you weren't seeing that. Now he's at Sunderland on loan, and he's being coached properly with a proper manager. You're seeing the ability that he has when you're kind of, man, I hate being bilingual because my mind's doing
I ain't got the word.
But it's like, you know, when you plant a seed and you're watching it grow, this time
reap the rewards.
You're reaping the rewards when you have a proper coach. And I think with Marcus Rashford, we're seeing that. I think right now, I think he could get 35 goals or comps. I generally think.
To finish off, I'm going to ask you man of the match, but also, just really quickly, Barcelona. Like, big game coming up. These are the games we want to be involved in. Obviously, not in the Europa League, but, you know, massive game against an informed team, top of La Liga. How are you seeing that? Are you confident going out there and coming back to Manchester with a good result?
Anything with Casemiro is possible. Obviously, they got Pedri, Gavi, whatnot, but
De Jong.
that midfield showed me in the World Cup that they could have a job done on them if it comes properly.
Yeah.
And I think we just have to be minute 1 head screwed on. It can't be like performances like today. It can't be performances like Palace away. It just has to be minute 1 on it.
And who would you man of the match today?
For me, is Sabitzer, Fred. I'm going between both of them, but I'll go Sabitzer for that pass to Luke Shaw. But Fred had a great game.
Sabitzer it is for Mina.